Well, that took forever. Hello, friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 3, Ruined World. I have finally tracked down the traveling healer Judith in the town of Shader. And I have forgotten what I need to ask her about, precisely. Yaha. Well, I have on good authority that the Fury crossbow is in the legendary Pit of the Worm, far to the northeast. It's due east of a city called Bremerton. You take note of this, and pay her about 1,000 gold. Northeast, due east of a city called Bremerton. I think I remember Bremerton on one of my maps. There it is. So Bremerton, way to the east of here, in a region that I have completely not explored. Okay, so that's one last little thing tracked down. I do eventually need to find the nameless wizard around Krizan, who will sell me the location of the Ring of Endless Magery, but that can wait until the next time I check in at 40 Merchants. For now, I'm going to fetch my horses and take a ferry out of here, because yes, you can take horses on a ferry. Ferry to Marish at end of dock. At the end of the dock is a ferry, ready to take you to the town of Marish, to the north on the mainland, for the very reasonable rate of 10 gold. Take the trip. You pay the 10 gold and hop on the ferry, except for the crew finding and killing a few giant roaches, who have somehow survived until now. The trip is uneventful. Within a day, you have landed at the crude wooden docks of Marish. Yes, today is going to be an exploring episode! Ferry to Shader, end of middle dock. Random townsperson is a sailor who won't have anything interesting to say. And guard, as usual, doesn't say anything. You know what time it is? Time for a perimeter check. Okay, so it turns out Marish is a very small town indeed, and very easy to walk off the map. But there's a cat wandering around, that's nice. Udel's used things. That sounds interesting. Gotta leave the horses outside, though. This man is polishing a small statue when you come in. The shop is filled with all sorts of unusual and uninteresting items, from all over Valorum. I'm Udel. Welcome to Udel's Miscellany. We have things ships bring from all over. Sell me your stuff, and purchase new stuff to carry around. Well, I have just recently sold some of the loot I picked up. The breastplate dropped by the Hakai was a steel breastplate, but the shield is now strapped onto Stephen's arm. Don't think there's anything else particularly interesting. Yeah, I'm still hanging on to Amethyst's shirt because it amuses me. Also, Amethyst is carrying 76 iron bolts and 8 magic bolts. She doesn't have to shop for ammo for a while yet. Had to upgrade her strength just to be able to carry all that. Yeah, I don't have anything particularly interesting to sell. So what do you have there? The what? Infinite arrow! Base damage of 9. Not very good compared to my iron bolts. If I still cared about archery beyond having my arrows of light, that could be a thing to buy. Returning missile. Horn of Warriors. Oh, I had one of this in Exile 2. This was actually sort of good. This is an animal horn. carefully fashioned into a horn of the blowing kind. You cannot help but wonder what would happen if you set your lips to it. Also, it's relatively cheap for items here. Ooh, magic great helm. Only 1 encumbrance, compared to the 2 encumbrance on Pearl's great helm. Steel greatsword, strong healing, bronze serpent ring, steel wave blade. Magic plate mail. Very expensive. Still has 3 encumbrance, though. Which is slightly better than the 4 encumbrance on the steel plate, but not really enough to be worth it. Does anybody else have great helm? No, just Pearl. Half tempting to put that on a mage, but they've got about enough armor. And how convenient. I can sell you the great helm I don't want anymore. It's not that great. Locked door and locked door. Well, darn, the people here don't even bother to trap their homes. And there's an inn. You meet the mayor of Marish. He is sitting in his office, the common room of the town inn, looking at some papers. An incredibly small town that can't even have a city hall. He straightens his mayor's sash and rises to greet you. I am Mayor Yale of Marish. I am the mayor of Marish. I do the best I can, considering the hard times. A great honor. When I was too old to be a sailor, this is where I came to settle down. They liked me. Here I am. Monsters. What else does anyone have to worry about? Monsters. Undead and giant lizards are harassing us from the north. That's why we've been looking for some adventurers. Oh, so not roaches or giants this time. Yale looks at you somberly. With the plagues of monsters, the Empire has neglected us out on the frontier. This policy is bearing bitter fruit. We are assaulted by monsters, undead and lizards mainly. They come from a cavern in the mountains 40 or 50 miles to the north. Slay them, and we will reward you as best we can. So yeah, that is not one of the major monster plagues, but a smaller one. The innkeeper is just a generic guy. You pay your gold and get a round of very, very unimpressive ale. Yay. Odd building attached to the back of the inn. Someone occupying this room. Who doesn't feel like speaking to me? This house was speedily abandoned. Everything is dusty and in disarray. After a few minutes, your keen adventurer senses pick up the very faint smell of death and decay. Oh dear. Why do I suspect there's a body hiding in between the walls? There's food that's not mine. The owner is clearly not around to claim it. How long has it been here, though? You find a hidden crawl space filled with human skeletons. You can't tell who they were or how they died. However, some of the scraps of clothing look like the loose garb sailors tend to wear. Whoever the killer was, he, she, or it is gone now. Well, that's heckin' disturbing. Ew. I don't actually remember if I can ask the mayor about that. Huh. Must remember horses before I leave. So yeah, I thought there might be more to exploring Marish than that. But I have a job to deliver to the town of Calloc in 12 days. Marish is the end of this little peninsula here. And Calloc is somewhere to the north. So, in case you were wondering, I knew what I was doing the whole time. This is a good excuse to come out to the back end of nowhere and explore Marish, and hit up Calloc in a relatively convenient manner. You see an all too common sight, a cluster of farmhouses, surrounded by a hastily erected rock barrier. A ragtag band of farmers guards the wall. You approach, but they clearly want nothing to do with strangers. Aw. And way over there is the other bit of map I've explored. Let's focus on one square at a time, shall we? Once again, this is an area filled with a whole lot of nothing. The forest, not welcoming even at its best, suddenly becomes noticeably colder and darker. You hear gurgling, hissing laughter. A breeze carries a sickly carrion smell to you. Something is approaching you, and it doesn't want to be your friend. Whites and an ice drake? Dude, you said giant lizards, not ice drakes. Major blessing time. And I know I've scryed both whites and ice drakes, so I can just go straight to the fireballing. Okay, ice drake is hanging way in the back. Slow you, and Ice Bolt probably won't do a whole lot of good here. Flame doesn't do as much as I want. Ooh, you're a tough beastie, aren't you? But I'm tougher. Forest of Marish. Someone has hastily added something at the bottom. Beware the night creatures. Uh-huh. I don't think there's anything in this mountain range. but this is a part of the game where my memories get pretty fuzzy. Because we are way past the demo now. Bats? You hear the sounds of many flapping wings. You look up and see dozens of huge bats circling over you. They then fly quickly off. Is there another vampire near here? Affordable bit of water there. And here we find... What a wonderful opportunity! It's an Empire cargo ship, a massive, magnificent galleon designed to carry all manner of valuable cargo from one port to another. It's run aground, its scuttled form on the beach in front of you. You hear no sailors or guards, and the wreckage looks undisturbed. It's quite an opportunity. Go in and search. Oh. You walk towards the galleon, thoughts of great treasure circling in your minds. Then you notice the ground you're walking on that looked so solid a few minutes ago is fetid, foul, and marshy. You start to feel ill. As the illness spreads, you look up at the galleon and see it slowly fade away. The illusion covering the marsh disappears as well. You turn back and see the creatures who made the illusions, looking at you hungrily. Oh boy, I think these are the first Rakshasas of the game. Perhaps I should have cured poison before moving. Yeah, well. Time for the blessing and the hasting. Rakshasas, Tigermen. That's a lot of health, a lot of magic points, 6th level mage spells so they can summon demons if they want to. They are immune to magic, fire, and cold, and poison resistant. I hate them. Fortunately, they are not immune to sword! They said you're not immune to sword. Oh, come on! There we go. I don't have heal all. You're immune to magic, so I will bless myself instead of cursing you. Ooh, they would not be immune to Wall of Blades. There's a thought. And let's remember the lesson from the Hakai earlier. Anti-magic cloud. Go! What can Peridot really do here? Finally, you die. Ooh, Steven's, what has he got? Ring of Resistance is making kill a lot less scary than it usually is. Let's bless everyone again because these Rakshasi are being way too hard to hit. Oh no. I hate enemy summoners so much. Okay, might actually be time to do a revive here. Do I want to deal with the demons, or do I want to go straight for the Rakshasi? Surprise! It's both! Oofa. Wall of Blades even worth it at this point? Oh, I'm standing in an anti-magic field. Ha! Well, it certainly does some decent damage against the fire lizards. Jeez, how much natural armor do you things have? Stop summoning demons! Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I did save recently, right? Crap. Wait, did you actually die from poison? That is way too many of you. Fortunately, being triple blessed is actually more effective against the demons than it was against the Rakshasas. Problem is, there's a whole lot of demons. All of that and my first party death is from a lizard. Do I want to try that again? Let's give them a few extra targets. Summon a captain and a few soldiers. Better than nothing, I guess. Okay. The Rakshasas are down. Still got a few demons left. I did a second major blessing because I did notice the Rakshasas taking poison damage every turn or so, despite them being resistant to it, so perhaps more effective than I was giving it credit for. Oh, the demon just disappeared. Smart of it. There is one more hordling over there. And that's all of them. That one went much better. think that's all the loot that got dropped. What, that was it? Just a big fight with a bunch of Rakshasas? Ugh. Oh, hey, here's Calloc. Well, I do still need to go find that lair of undead and lizards or whatever, but maybe I'll do that next time because I'm a little monstered out right now. Lorelei, 180 miles east. Marish, 80 miles south, and Dorngast, 60 miles northeast. Calloc is really at the far edge of nowhere here. I'm going to leave my horses on the other side of the horrible monsters. And Calloc is yet another small town with a couple of mysterious buildings in the corners and an odd square of trees over here. I'm sure everything is completely normal and above board. Like this warehouse. Calloc Adventurer's Rations, because you don't want to starve before the monsters get you. True that, true that. Calloc Tools. Because what is a small town without a Mary? Selling stuff I don't particularly need. Decent selection, but I've just got magic lockpicks now. This seems unusual. You meet a mage. She looks very ill, but still works doggedly on a long, intricate scroll. I am Black. Welcome. She coughs heavily into her hand. She coughs. Excuse me. I'm not well. She coughs again. I teach magic. She coughs again. Don't worry, I'm not contagious. I don't think. Anyway, you can purchase mage spells from me, if you want. I can buy Major Poison and Group Fear. Prices are exorbitant, but I do still have a pretty good pile of gold. Because I have no idea where else I can find them. I came here from the Isle of Begale. She says this as if it answers your question. Well, actually it does. Isle of Begale is still dealing with a lot of disease spread by the roaches. She looks at you skeptically and coughs savagely. You know, the isle with all the roaches? The disease-spreading roaches? I came here to get well, and I am. Slowly. Well, this was already a worthwhile excursion. Ha! This is the person you're supposed to deliver your monster's parts to. The recipient collects them, in order to pass them on to the true and secret recipient. You also receive your promised gold. Okay, I don't know what you're going to do with that wolf skin, and I'm not sure I want to know anymore. You meet the innkeeper. He also wears the mayor's sash of Calloc. It's not surprising. Most of the mayors of these small towns have to work at a regular job. I'm Rabelino. Welcome to the beautiful town of Calloc. Well, we have fine luxury rooms for only 12 gold for the night, and delicious steaks for 5 gold. Or, he says with distaste, are you here on mayor business? How about those delicious steaks? The steaks are stringy and tough. Still, they're far better than the rank lizard meat you get in Exile. Made of 100% real cow. Maybe I will take a fine luxury room after the beating from the Rakshasas. He shows you to your room, which is anything but luxurious. You pass an uncomfortable night. Okay. This inn's rooms will bed 6. uncomfortably. He grumbles. We could use more adventurers around here. The army deserters cause no end of trouble. And worse, we had the trouble with looters and raiders. What with all the monsters everywhere, some of our so-called protectors are more than willing to turn coward and run, looting and stealing the possessions of good citizens. Gut 'em all, that's what I say. We've had lots of trouble with people coming in and stealing our food. Are you interested in a mission? Always. For months, our crops have been torn up, and our animals have been stolen. We know what's causing it now. One of our farmers was out at midnight, and saw Nephilim around his crops. Those foul creatures must be dealt with. Their clan lives in the mountains to the northeast. Deal with them, and we will pay you. Maybe watch what you say when there's a Nephilim right in front of you. Sometimes I wish there was a mass unlocking spell like there is for Move Mountains. Okay, just a normal standard house. More non-mysterious, non-sketchy housing. But what of the final corner of town? Oh no, the door is locked. Whatever shall I do? You enter the house and meet a group of Empire soldiers. You start to greet them, but then notice the torn-up state of their armor and the disrepair of their weapons. These must be renegades! Many Empire soldiers have deserted in the face of the waves of monsters. The penalty for doing so is a slow, painful death. That is probably why these soldiers are so nervous, and why they attack you instantly. Oh, these are pretty strong guys. And they've got me surrounded. Poor jerks. I have just assassinated the assassin. Maybe I should draw them outside and make a kill box. Or maybe I should just cast a few fireballs in there. Ooh, enemy wizard. Wizard can cast 7th level mage spells. Oh dear. Also immune to magic and resistant to fire and cold. On that note, have I scryed some of these other enemies? Champion usually has more health than that. Pretty decent attack skills. And Assassin can poison me, but will probably die before he gets the chance. Ew, salamanders. Here, have some unavoidable damage. Too bad I don't have an area of effect spell that's ice rather than fire. Well, I do have Wall of Ice, but that covers more ground than I really want it to. And no, and a Magic Cloud. So an anti-magic cloud will sometimes block Fire Breath, but not the flame cloud from the salamanders. Sure. Oh no, it does block the fire breath, but it doesn't block the flame cloud. I'm going to pretend like that makes any sense whatsoever. Ooh, Steel Plate, I am getting all kinds of good armor drops lately. And is there anything in the dresser? You inspect the dresser closely. Might be trapped. It's got mostly crap I don't want. And a wand. Well, I'm not sure if the mayor will have anything different to say about Empire deserters now, after I found that nest of them right in his town. And I will explore yet more of this region next time. Until then, have a good one, everybody.